सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। अन्तर्यश्च बहिर्विधूततिमिरं ज्योतिर्मयं शाश्वतम् स्थानं प्राप्य विराजते विनमता वज्ञानवन्मूलयन् पश्यन् विश्वमुपीदमुल्लसति यो विश्वस्य पारे परः। तस्मै श्रीरमणाय लोकगुरवे शोकस्य हन्त्रे नमः। ॐ नमो भगवते श्रीरमणाय। श्लोका 21। विदेह प्रयत्नस्य च कोऽपि वादः तयोर्दयोर्मूलमजानतां स्यात्। विदेह प्रयत्नस्य च मूलवस्तु संजानतां नैव विधिर्न यत्नः। When was the first deviation we saw in Saddarshanam? In the 10th shloka. The deviation was Brahma Sadhanam as Saguna Ishvara Dhyanam to attain Nirguna Jnanam. To attain Nirguna Jnanam, Saguna Ishvara Dhyanam. That was the deviation. And now another deviation, a kind of deviation. He's talking about fate and free will. Ramana Maharshi is talking about the importance of fate and free will. Is my voice audible? Okay. This is another deviation, but not as it was the 10th. So looks like these are the shlokas which was not constructed one by one. Means he did not write a Prakarana Grantha of 40 or 44 shlokas. Here and there he would have written, and later on it was clubbed. Because when an author tries to present something on Atmajnanam or something else, like Viveka Chudamani, there is some kind of system. What is Atma? What is Anatma? What are the 7 questions? In most all Prakarana Granthas, some system is there. But here and there, a slight deviation or major deviation. That means what we have to infer, all these 44 was about the truth and not written at the same time. So that is what we can infer. So this shloka talks about the eternal debate of fate and free will, vidhi and purushartha. Vidhi and purushartha. And there are many groups. Which group you will follow, I don't know. Which group I will follow also, I don't know, after reading the shloka. One group is what? Fate alone is there. Today what I am, it is only because of fate. Another group, no, it is only because of free will. Second group. Third group, both. What percentage is free will, what percentage is fate, we don't know. There is another group, which group? Astrologers group, that they give a specific percentage of fate and free will. Our earlier group, Purvashrama group, better. 33% they say there is a free will. Ramana Maharshi ruthlessly will ignore, slash all those things. Very nice discussion. We'll directly go to the shloka, easy to understand, and then we will, or I will give some background about fate and free will. First, we will see the shloka per se, and then see what fate and free will. See there. First line. Videhe prayatnasya cha vadaha. Videhe prayatnasya cha vadaha. Vadaha means a debate. Vadaha, debate. With regard to what? Vidhi, that is fate, and prayatnaha, effort, purushartha. Kopi vadaha, we can never conclude that fate is right or purushartha effort is right. People who wants to conclude on either side, whether fate or free will, they are fools. Though the fool word is not there, we have to interpret because he uses the word. Only an ignorant fellow talks about fate or free will. Ignorant means what? Fools only, na, like us. So do not enter into any kind of discussion on fate and free will. Second line. Tayoho dvayoho moolam ajanatam syat. Ajanata means ajnanihi, ignorant people. Ajanatam, I don't know. What he doesn't know? Moolam. Atma as moolam, he doesn't know. Moolam here is equal to adhishthanam, the karanam. Only among ignorant people, they have this kind of a vada of purushartha and vidhi fine, but I want and prarabdhana. Purushartha and prarabdha is a better word. Purushartha and prarabdha. They will enter into a debate. Who ajanata? Ajanata means tayoho dvayoho. Tayoho means those two. Which two? Purushartha and prarabdha. Means what? Ignorant of moolam. Ignorant of moolam. That moolam is the substratum atma. One who is ignorant of that atma will enter into a debate as which is right or which is wrong, as fate and free will. Third line. Moola vastu sanjanatam. Sanjanatam is samyak jnanam ityartha. A clear knowledge. Once the person knows, I am the adhishthanam, I am the atma, that is the moola, he will not have any argument. Because to argue, what do I need? To argue, I need ahankara. I am an ahankara person. I follow fate. Another ahankara person will follow free will. Having ahankara is a part of ignorance. A jnani will not have a debate because there is no ahankara in the jnani. So such debates, if we make, we are ajnanis and ahankara predominant person. Very clear. And past is prarabdha, that also I need because I depend on past, that is ahankara. Present also is ahankara because I am talking about free will. How do you say free will? Because of ahankara. How do I say everything is past? Because of ahankara. For a jnani who has the moola jnanam means atma jnanam, the adhishthanam where both past and future or the present falls, that person will not do any kind of debate. See there? Naiva vidhi na yatnaha. He doesn't argue for fate, nor he argues for or establishes his view on free will. Because remember, which shloka? 15 or 17? Recently we 17. Bhutam bhavishyatya bhavatsakale. We have ignored about time. And when we talk about past, present, future, or prarabdha and free will, it is part of the time. So when the time division is being removed, prarabdha and free will also has to be removed because both are within the realm of ahankara. So go back to the discussion of 17th shloka. This is what the shloka says. For a jnani, there is no ahankara. So he will not have discussion on which is right, which is wrong. Now, we will come to a brief discussion on this. To say fate alone matters for a people, for a group of people who says everything is fate. then that fate should be common, isn't it? I should have one fate. I should have some prarabdha. My prarabdha also should be your prarabdha. Will that work? If fate is everything, means what? There is one huge karma. What karma I go through, you should also go through. Because fate is nothing but what? Unseen God. Bhagavanta ಮಾಡ್ತಿದಾನಪ್ಪ, isn't it? ಭಗವಂತ ಏನೋ ಮಾಡಿಸಿದಾನೆ ನಮಗೆ, ಕರ್ಮ ಅವನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೀವಿ. Fate, we always talk, and fate is equal to unseen God, isn't it? That means what? Whatever karma you are undergoing, I should also undergo the same karma, because Bhagavan has given the fate for all. Then Bhagavan becomes partiality. He will give good karma for me, he will give bad karma for you. That means what? Fate doesn't exist. It is only free will. The very fact that fate is different for different people, that shows what? It is free will. Free will of past actions has become fate in this current janma. If God was one and he has given fate as the rule, then it should be a common to all of us. But we are not. That shows indirectly it is free will only which is working. Past actions is seen as present fate. Past actions, who did the action? I only. If I say no, that past action was fate, then to that past action there is another past. So it is regress. It is an error. You cannot find a starting point. So there is a free will. This is one group. I'm not telling I am for or against fate. This is one group where free will is highlighted. But there is another problem with free will. Yes, past actions of mine is seen as free will in this birth, agreed. But there are certain actions which I am not contributing for. For example, surroundings. My karma I have. Surroundings, it's part of what? It's not in my control. Parents, they are not in my control to decide that he or she should be my father or my mother. My body, for example, this is very intrinsically close with fate, but intrinsically close with free will, but this is fate. I have chosen some actions from the past, which is now becoming as fate. That is only with respect to my karma. But while exhausting karma, there are other factors which is not part of my karma, where that environment is part of fate. Past actions as present fate is free will. How do I exhaust? There is an environment. That environment is not caused by me. Parents are not caused by me. They are helping me. So they have their own karma. So their karma should match with my karma to have an experience. Their past actions and my past actions should match to exhaust each other's experience, each other's karma. Are you getting? Little subtle. So fate per se and free will per se, 100% we cannot argue. They are mutually inclusive. They are mutually inclusive. It is just like this. Whether seed is important, a seed came first or tree came first. If you talk about fate, fate cannot exist because free will. If you talk about free will cannot be there without fate. They say an infinite regress. Eternally, this debate is going on and it continues. However much we think of, you may close your eyes and think, open the eyes and think, but you will not get 100% answer. Fate and free will both are together. That is why in Shastra we call as Anirvachiniyam, inexplicable. It is as good as Maya. As good as Maya. You cannot explain. But we cannot just keep quiet with this. That also Vedanta will tell. If you read Brihadaranyaka and all, elaborate discussion is there. Even in Brahma Sutra, there is a discussion. Vyasacharya brings out this point, which is correct, fate or free will. There, Shankaracharya comes to a conclusion, whether fate or free will, if it is there, that is futile. Let ignorant people do. But we have to come to a conclusion if we are spiritual seekers. This is Shankaracharya's view, based on Brahma Sutras. I'm forgetting the sutra. Anyways, we have to come to some kind of agreement between these two. And if we are spiritual seekers, what is very important for us? What is the Purushartha we have to gain? Moksha Purushartha. This agreement we have to come. Because if we are spiritual seekers, moksha alone is our goal. If we are having this agreement, then how to handle free will, how to handle fate, what importance to give when, we can clearly know. In Moksha Purushartha, there are three Siddhantas, prominently three Siddhantas. We all know Dvaita, Vishishtadvaita, Advaita. And all the other systems will come under Dvaita and Vishishtadvaita, but Advaita is standing alone, standalone system. Now, with regard to Advaita and Vishishtadvaita system, schools of philosophy, they talk about moksha, and their concept of moksha is eternally being with the Lord, the Bhagavan. Seeing the Bhagavan, being at the pada of Bhagavan, be it Vishishtadvaita, Advaita, or any other system. Dasa Bhava. And they talk, this is moksha. And technically this is wrong, because moksha word itself will say to free ourselves. But being dependent on God doesn't free ourselves. Moksha concept avaralli tondre ide. Artha aita? The very fact that the swarupa of moksha itself is a problem in those systems. Much dhatu, moksha dhatu, free from everything, means be independent. But whereas their system say be dependent on God. Very subtle point, you see. When I have to dependent on God, I have to activate fate. When I have to dependent on, be on God, I have to talk on fate, because He, the Lord, does everything for me. That is why I told fate is equal to unseen God. Nan karma andreno devaru maadittidane anta. Dvaita and Vishishtadvaita depend heavily on fate, means there is a person God, I surrender everything to Him and eternally be dependent. Being dependent is what? Mrutyuhu. Because dependence means limitation, duality, triality, it is Mrutyuhu. So fate brings Mrutyuhu. This is one arrangement. The other arrangement is Vishishtadvaitam, Dvaitam over. The other arrangement is Advaitam. If you want moksham, then you have to be Advaita Jnani, where I will activate free will to know my Swarupam. Every day. If you have to be fate, then you are Dvaiti or Vishishtadvaita. If you have to be an Advaiti, then I have a free will, because I have justifications to talk about free will. Shruti itself will say. Then what about for them? They will not talk about Shruti. No, they can't talk. Vishishtadvaitin and Dvaitin cannot talk on Shruti. They have to talk on Puranas. And their Pramana is Purana, and Purana based Shruti interpretation for their system. Vishnu Purana, some other Purana, they take Sriman Narayana, etc. etc. Whatever be the God, it is not only Vishishtadvaita, even Shakti Vishishtadvaita, Shaiva Siddhanta, Srividya Siddhanta, everything is Dasabhava. So it works only on fate. But whereas Advaitam doesn't work on fate, because here they say to know my higher nature, I have to claim as I am Swarupaha. I need not depend on fate or any he or she as God. Gita, Uddhared Atmana Atmanam, Atmanam Avasadhayet, Atmaiva Atmano Bandhu, Atmaiva Ripuratmanaha. Sixth chapter. Just before starting the meditation, Krishna talks fourth, fifth shloka. Sixth chapter. A very well-known shloka. Uddhared Atmana Atmana means what? Put self-effort knowing your nature. Isn't it? If fate was everything, Krishna would have told, everything is done, you do whatever you want. To say that, Arjuna, you have to fight for your Swadharma, fight for Swadharma is a chance of free will, activating free will. So what Moksha Swarupa you are in, what is your understanding of Moksha Swarupa depends upon what you are activating in your life. Whether you are fate predominant or free will predominant. If you are having a Dasa Bhava and talk to everything else, let Bhagavan do, then it is fate. If you say, no, I will take care of my life, my priorities, my sadhana, priorities means not Lokika, priorities means to gain Atma Jnanam, then 100% it is free will. And here also they say, free will is also part of group, free will is also part of fate. So that discussion we are not going. We have come to some kind of an arrangement here. This arrangement is done based on free will. To choose fate or free will is also a part of free will. Because we are humans and intellectual beings. God doesn't, animals cannot do this. They have only fate. They even don't know what fate and free will is. They don't know what is the difference between Tair Sadam and ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ ತೈರ್ ಸಾದಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಅಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಇವತ್ತು ಬಿಸಿಬೇಳೆಬಾತ್ ಇವತ್ತು ಊಟಕ್ಕೆ ಇದು ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಅದು ಐ ನೋ ಬಟ್ ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ಟೆಲ್ ಇನ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಗಾಡ್ ನೋ ದ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಗಾಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಡಾಗ್ ನೋ ದ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ತೈರ್ ಸಾದಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಆತರ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೇನೆ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಎಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು ಬಿಸಿಬೇಳೆ ಬಾತು ಪುಳಿಯೋಗರೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಅಂತ ಐ ಚೂಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾರಬ್ಧನೇ ಅದು ನಮ್ಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸರಿ ಓಕೆ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಸೊ we have to use free will based upon what pursuit we are doing. If we are Advaitin, claiming moksha is my birthright, I have to use free will. If it is Dasa Bhava, then use fate. Surrender everything to Bhagavan. Agreed. So, what is your mind? You have to. Means what? In decision, there is ahankaram. So, if you decide fate, you have to be eternally in ahankara bhava. That is Triputi. I am surrendering everything to Bhagavan. Who is surrendering? Ahankara only, right? Triputi bhava bantalva. There is a duality. This duality based acceptance will give you chitta shuddhi, but it cannot give jnanam. But I am the adhishthanam for this ahankara. I will take 100% responsibility for working to my moksha. Whatever pratibandhaka comes, I will jump over. I will not brood. Because for every one of us, there will be some kind of a limitation. Because fate and free will goes hand in hand. Previous discussion, means just a few minutes back. So you choose and decide. Here Ramana Maharshi is telling, for an ahankari or ahankara, they will have an eternal debate on fate and free will. It is futile, ajanata. But whereas the one who knows the moolam, that is jnani, we will not talk about, because for a jnani there is no ahankara. There is no division. So he gives this approach. So it is up to you to decide. Let us not waste time on this state of evil, because yesterday after the class, everybody here took class for me. Everybody, fate is only right, free will is only right. 10 o'clock class got over. I slept at 11 o'clock because they did not leave me here till 10:55. Until I told that yes, fate alone is right. Because I had to use free will to say fate is right. Is the condition. So you decide. Just as Ramana Maharshi has, we can also have one view. Maximum is what? To say fate and free will, you should have free will. Everything is fate. It is free will. Everything is in my control, free will. That means what? It is only free will. Everything let Bhagavan do. Who is giving that sanction? Free will only. I as Ahankara only is giving. Isn't it? Think this is a very debatable topic, but think the background which I have given, you think you will get some clarity. Next shloka. Yedishiturvikshanameekshitaram avikshatan manasi kekshanam syat na drashtu anyah paramohitasya Viksha swamule praviliya nishtha. This is another kind of deviation. Two deviations in two shlokas. But here I have to give some warning. I thought I will skip this shloka, but skipping doesn't make correct. Because when we thought of taking shloka, we have to take. So in every teacher who takes this shloka, they give a statutory warning. So I also have to give. For a beginner, this is a kind of bhayam, a fear. A fear might come, or you might become a nastika, atheist also, after reading this Sadarshana, this shloka particular. So if you are a beginner, yes, few of you are beginner, so please take with a pinch of salt. If you want, add lemon also. Papad is anyways there. So what he says, Ramana Maharshi condenses entire Upanishadic teaching in these 4 lines. Entire Upanishadic teaching in these 4 lines. And if suppose one has gone through sufficient Upanishads, they can enjoy this shloka, or else it becomes tough. Yes, we have also gone through two only, Kena, Ish and Kena. Few, correct. First 2 we have gone. And that to the essence here he takes is Kena and Brihadaranyaka. Very, very, very profound shloka. As Ram Gopal was telling, this Sadarsanam is cream of Vedanta. It's correct, right? He told. When you have cake and you put a jelly or cream is what? On the top layer. What will we get attracted first when we see? The jelly or cream only, not the stuff inside. The stuff is Upanishads, Brahma Sutra, Gita, but the cream is Sadarsanam. Now coming to the point. What have we learned in Upanishads or in few Prakarana Granthas is that whatever I experience is not absolute reality. This is we have learned in all Upanishads and few Prakarana Granthas also. And whatever I experience is only a relative jnanam, relative reality, that is vyavaharika, transactional, not the absolute, the final. In Sanskrit, paramarthika. Then what is absolute reality, if you ask? I am going fast because we know all this. The Sakshi Chaitanyam is the absolute reality as the observer the experiencer, isn't it? This is the reality. And this is told repeatedly in Upanishads. All Upanishads talk on this. Their approach might be different. And how do we talk about this? Entire world which I experience is not absolute reality. It is transactional, relative reality. My body is not absolute reality because I intimately experience it. It is relative. Still tougher is my mind, I also experience. It is not absolute, very, very intimate than the body. Still, it is relative. I experience happiness, I experience sadness, sorrow, joy, everything intimately close to me. It is relative. The very fact it is relative means what? It's coming, going, changing one after the other. Absolute cannot change because in absolute, Paramarthika, there is only one. That is how we differentiate. And when world, body, and mind are relative reality, not the absolute, we term that as mithya. We term shariram, manaha, shariram, jagat as mithya. All are relative. One second. Now, what about God? Jagat solliyache, odambu deham solliyache, mind solliyache as relative. Crucial question is what about God? Does God come under the object of experience or different? If God comes as an object of experience, then God is mithya. However intimate or religious or supreme may be your Ishtadevata, if you are seeing Ishtadevata as an object of experience, then it is mithya. It is not Satyam. It doesn't exist in 3 periods of time. Not only in 3 periods, at any point of time. It is Vyavaharika Satyam. Vyavaharika Satyam is mithya, it doesn't exist. It is appearing, but it is not existing. World I can neglect or ignore because it is grass. I cannot conceive the concept of world because it is huge. My mind cannot take. Body, yes, because intimate. Mind still tough. Mind also we can take because only I am seeing, not somebody else. And when I say mind is also mithya, no, my emotions are so real. And how can we call my emotion is mithya? Because we are undergoing. But we forget the very fact that we are undergoing an experience is mithya relative. What about Bhagavan or Ishtadevatana? Same da. Everything should fall in one category. If Ishtadevata is seen as an object of experience, it is mithya. No doubt about it. A devotee who is experiencing God or who wants to experience God in future comes under the same category of mithya. I have experienced wrong. I will experience through the sankalpa wrong. This is Upanishads have told and Ramana Maharshi is strongly telling. Devotee gets disturbed. You can say, this now Vedanta we have heard, still my Ishtadevata is Satyam. We can't do anything. Because the devotee has a fear that my Lord will go away from me. My Ishtadevata Lord will go away from me. I have dependent on Ishtadevata whenever my mind is upset. When you're talking about that God or you're negating that God, I have a fear. Just as I have a fear of my own body and my kith and kin, I have a fear that I am ignoring or criticizing your God. You have a fear. Fear is part of ahankara. Ahankara is part of mithya. I am a seeker of truth. If I am a seeker of truth, there is no emotion place in my life. If I am a seeker of truth, there is no emotion available in my life. Emotion means what? Everybody, even a jnani will go through emotion. Don't take it wrong. Emotion as that Bhagavan will help me is wrong. Abba. Our life is based on this. Shankaracharya, Ramana Maharshi says it is futile. So for a beginner, it looks tough to accept. What does Kena Upanishad say? Recently we have, which mantra can you relate this to Kena Upanishad? Anybody can mute, right? Yan manasana manute yenahur manomatam tadevatvam vid brahmatvam vidhi nedam yadidam upasate. I will not explain. You have made notes. Here the Upanishad is telling, mind cannot talk about Bhagavan. If it is talking, it is mithya. Yen manasana manute yena mana ahmatam tat adhishthanam eva tvam vidhi. Then if you want to know God, there is only one reality. That God has to be the experiencer of all the experiences. That is Advaita Jnana. In Advaita Jnanam, I don't have a concept of Triputi at all. Sakshi Chaitanyam Ahamasmi. This is the truth. This is the realization. And we Advaitins will never criticize Dvaitam. We will never criticize Dvaitam. Dvaitam is a stepping stone, but Dvaitam as an ultimate reality is false. But that stepping stone, question should come, when? Until when it is a stepping stone? That you have to ask individually. Step has to end somewhere. You cannot keep on stepping. Continuous step. Start பண்ண 8 வயசுல பூனல் போடும்போது ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். 80 வயசுலயும் அதே பண்ணா ஸ்டெப் ಸ್ವರ್ಗಕ್ಕೂ ಹಾಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಹತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹಂಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು. ಈ 80 ವರ್ಷದ ತಾತ ಡುಕ್ರನ್ ಕರಣೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ತರ ನಾವು ಏನೋ ಹೇಳೋದು, ಗಮ್ ಗಣಪತಯೇ ನಮಃ. ಯಾಕೆ ಈ ಮಂತ್ರಗಳೇ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತೆ? ಐ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಸೇ ಸೀಕ್ರೆಟ್ ಮಂತ್ರಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಬೀಜಾಕ್ಷರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬಾರ್ದು, ಉಪದೇಶ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದೊಂದು ಈ ಪರಂಪರೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನದರ್ ಉಪದೇಶ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಅದೊಂದು ಸೀನ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಉಪದೇಶ. ಇವಾಗ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, we are encouraging the fear and saying that yes, oh fine, equal respect is there, we are not selling, no, but use that opportunity to pass over Dvaitam. We are not doing that. Ishvara darshana as an object is mithya. Ishvara means you put your Ishtadevata also. Ishvara darshana as subject, I is Satyam. You have to fill up the blanks. If my Ishtadevata is an object, then whatever you try, you will be in eternal. No, I don't want you eternal. Mithya, sorry, eternal hell. Mithya, eternal hell. If Ishvara Darshana as I the subject, Adhishthanam, eternal heaven. But heaven is not in Swargaloka. Wherever I am, that is Swargaloka for me, means Ananda. Swargaloka means what? Ananda. Not through Indriya Sukha, as Adhishthanam. So we respect Dvaitam, we allow Dvaitam, but not as an end, only a means. And we have a very beautiful shloka also. Everybody knows. Deho devalaya prokto jivo deva sanatanaha tyajeda ajnana nirmalyam soham bhavena pujayet. Every puja begins with this shloka. Deho devalaya proktaha jivo deva sanatanaha tyajet. Give up what? Ajnanam, the dirt. Once you give up this ajnanam called ahankara, because ahankara idre tane namge ನನ್ನ ಇಷ್ಟ ದೇವತೆ ಅಂತಿರೋದು. ತ್ಯಜೇತ್, this ajnanam you give up, then what you are? Soham bhavena pujayet. Here pujayet means chintayet. Aham brahmasmi iti akandhakara vritti chintayet. Chintayet is called nididhyasayet. ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? ಸೋಹಂ ಭಾವೇನ ಪೂಜೆಯತ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆತ್ಮರ ಅಕ್ಷತೆ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಒಂದು ಬಟ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಟ್ಟಿದೀವಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಖಾಲಿ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಕ್ಷತೆ. ಸೊ ದೇವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಾಕಿ ಸಾಕಾಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಸುರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ನೋಡಿದವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಏನಿದೆಯೇನೋ ಹೀಗೆ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ತಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ. ನಾವು ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಏನೋ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ರಮಣ ಮಹರ್ಷಿ ಬಾ ಸೀದೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈನ್ ಈಕ್ಷಿತ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ವೇ, ಸೊ ಸ್ಪ್ಲಿಟ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಈಕ್ಷಿತಾರ ಅವೀಕ್ಷಯ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈನ್ ಅವೀಕ್ಷಯ means not recognizing or ignoring. What do I ignore? ಈಕ್ಷಿತಾರ, ಈಕ್ಷಣ. ಇಂದೀವರೋದರ ಸಹೋದರ ಮಿಂದಿರಾಯ. ಕನಕದಾರ ಸ್ತೋತ್ರ. ಇಷ್ಟ ವಿಶಿಷ್ಟ ಮತಯೋಪಿ ದಯಾರ್ದ್ರಯಾಯ ದೃಷ್ಟ ವಿಶಿಷ್ಟಮಪದಂ ಸುಲಭಂ ಲಭಂತೆ ಪುಷ್ಟ ಗಮನೋದರಿ ದೀಪ್ತಿರಿಷ್ಟ ಪುಷ್ಕರ ವಿಷ್ಕರಾಯ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಈ ಕ್ಷಣ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಇವನ್ ಸೌಂದರ್ಯಲ್ಲೂ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಈಕ್ಷಿತಾಯ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಐ ಆಮ್ ದಿ ಆತ್ಮ as the observer, and this I have ignored. I am the Atma as observer, I have ignored. Avikshaya. What? Ikshanam, Vikshanam. Why I have ignored? Because I want to have an Ishvara Darshana as an object of experience. That is why I have ignored me the aham. When I ignore the aham, I have to wait for darshana. When I ignore the aham, the substratum, I have to wait for a darshana. That darshana is based on capital I, the ahankara. So Ramana Maharshi says, second line, Manasika Ikshanam. This is a profound line. He says, my God, this Sakshatkara, what you are talking, what Sankalpa you are doing, Sambhashana Siddhyartham, Sakshatkara Siddhyartham, is your mental projection, is your imagination. Manasika Ikshana. If you have a sankalpa that I have to see my Ishta Devata, he says, oh fool, it is your mental projection that you have cultivated. There is no such God at all. Put 1008 exclamatory mark. Parango, Ramana Maharshi. Adike sonne, this is a very tough shloka. You can ignore this shloka if you don't like. But you ignore today or tomorrow or in next janma, truth is truth. Truth is always truth. If you don't accept the truth, it becomes bitter. Manasika Ikshnam, that Ishta Devata imagination is mithya. This is not real Ishvara Darshana. There are many spiritual masters talk about Ishvara Sakshatkara. Ambal Patate, Vinayakar Patate, யார் எப்படி பார்ப்பாரோ அப்படியே இருப்பாங்க. அவ்வளவுதான். மீன்ஸ் அம்பா இது இஷ்ட தேவதாவும் மித்யா, நானும் மித்யான் தான். And why does Ramana Maharshi has to say this? That he himself will clarify, because third line, drashtuhu anya parama nasti, na is there, put in bracket nasti. Paramaha means paramarthika satya ishvaraha, absolute reality. Drashtuhu, there is no real God other than I, the Atma. Drashtuhu anyaha, I am the drashtuhu, the observer. Anyaha, paramaha nasti, nasti should go with the object. There is no real God other than me, the Atma, or I, the Atma. And he uses the one word or letter called he. He means what? This is the essence of all Upanishads. He is a particular or peculiar word. In all the Upanishad, they in Sanskrit literature, they use this word he to say that the essence of all the scriptures. God as he, your Ishtadevata as he or she, in Bhakti books, in Upasana books, is the real hero. Alva? My Ishtadevata, where do I praise my Ishtadevata? In Bhakti literature, or in Upasana literature, or in Tantra literature, whatever it is. There, my Ishtadevata is hero. But whereas that he, she, God in Upanishadic literature is zero. Hero to zero. Travel allavirukku. And this hero to zero will make me be in bondage, samsara. India invented zero. Eternally we are in zero. Swami Paramarthananda says, nicely, he is a gifted person. In Advaitam, there is Soham. Isn't it? Advaitam means Soham. Somebody did not like this, Soham. He added a word before Soham, da Soham. Somebody again came, a new person came. He added a letter called Sa before da. Sada Soham. Another person came. He did not like. He did not like that. He said, Dasa Dasoham. Another person came. He added Sa. Sada Soham. So it will go on. 2003, when I heard from him, this was for me mind-boggling. 2003 is what when I studied this text from him. 19 years I am taking. My first entry to spiritual life was Brihadaranyaka and Sadarshana. அதனால இவ்வளவு கான்ஃபிடென்ட்டா சொல்லணும் பகவான் இஸ் வித்யான். ஏன்னா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டெக்ஸ்டே அது இல்லையா? ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டெக்ஸ்ட்லயே பகவான் அவுட் பண்ணியாச்சு. So anyways, so in any scripture, if my Ishtadevata is hero, but in Upanishads it is Bandhana, Mithya. Oh, 10 o'clock. Finish. So fourth line, what is Atma Darshanam then? If you ask how to have Atma Darshanam, see my question. How to have Atma Darshanam? If somebody asks, what you should say? You should not answer. Vedanta should ask a counter question. Never answer. Two reasons. Because I don't know the answer. You confuse the person with asking counter question. You confuse the person asking counter question. If you know, then boldly you can say, there is no concept of Atma Darshanam, because when I say Atma Darshanam, that Atma becomes Anatma. See, that Atma becomes Anatma. So Atma Darshana means first shloka, abiding in the knowledge that I am Atma. That is what he says. Fourth line. Tasya Viksha Swamule Praviliya Nishtha. Beautiful line. Underline this. Tasya. Tasya means Atma Darshanaya. Viksha as an observer. Swamule. In I abide in my Swarupam. Praviliya means abidance. How do I abide? As my own Swarupam is Atma. And Nishtha, having been abiding in my Swarupan, I ever establish and remain there. Nishtha means remaining always. Remaining in that Adhishthanam and taking all the Triputis back to myself. Nishtha is very important word. First, I have to abide in that and remain, and then remove all the Triputis which is based on Ahankara. I take back Ahankara. I am the Sakshi even for Ahankara. So Advaita Jnanam alone will give moksha, not the other Jnanam, not even Ishvara Sakshatkara. Do not work for that. If you are working, better luck. Next Janma, same place, wherever you are, continue Saddarshanam. Om Sham Asatoma Sadgamaya. Amasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutam Gamaya Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om